I hope you don't mind if I take over the narration, as Henry and Sarah are not much longer for this world. See, there are things that Henry did not know of Eleanor, and of the manufacturer as well. Most of the Ellen androids are, but a little more than sex dolls with a slightly higher IQ. They can do basic functions, but for the most part their role is to just sit there and not do much. Then how is Eleanor such an advanced product? That's simple, because she was not an android to begin with. But she does have an appearance of one. Ellen, sick of people, of humans' expectations for them to be unfeeling robots at times. Her partners being upset at her emotions, her questions, has weighed on her mind, to which she decided to make a change. If what they want is something that just sucks and shut up, then that is what she will give them. Her brother loves her very much, and after hearing of the seriousness of his sister to go through with this plan, he decided to help, as he was the only person she could rely on. Her brother was already a genius when it came to both electronics and mechanical engineering, that it was easy to figure out the AI part with the help of a few of his friends. Then he decided to go back to school to become a plastic surgeon, which allowed for him to operate on his sister, giving her the necessary look to become a full-fledged android. Then he created the company, and to his surprise, the Ellen dolls were extremely popular, selling millions around the world. He then paid a hacker to scour the internet and add comments at how realistic the dolls are, and removing anything that says the contrary, allowing the illusion of fully functioning Ellen dolls to come to fruition. It became a self-fulfilling prophecy for Ellen. She can prove that men don't want just a mindless drone, and when they decided to step out on her and get a real human woman, she would in turn murder her partners for their infidelity. Henry was the third victim that she has had so far. To his credit, he has lasted the longest, to the point Ellen thought maybe she had finally found the one that will stay with her. That was until he met Sarah, and everything started to take a turn, and Ellen saw where it was going. She decided to take matters into her own hands. When Henry apologized and was gonna drop Sarah to be with her, but she couldn't just trust his words, so she decided to get rid of Sarah, so he no longer has the temptation. She called Sarah over to the house while Henry was at work and told her it was a surprise. She should call into work and come over. There she was, ambushed by Ellen and dragged downstairs. Being tied to a chair, usually she would have gotten it done clean, all in one day. But the usual company that would take care of these problems were busy. They couldn't come for 2 days. Ellen thought that was fine. She could gag her, and Henry would never notice. He has not once gone to the basement since Ellen was brought to the house. Still, on this fateful night, he decided to venture down there and open a door that should have remained closed, sealing his fate. Now let's return to see how the story unfolds. You couldn't stay away from her, could you, Henry? Oh my God. Every man acts like they want this fucking robot of a woman. Yet when you give it to them, they don't like that either. For how much you guys claim women don't know what they want, you are no fucking better. Man after man after man, you are the third one. Third's time a charm, I thought. But I guess not. I see now that you are all the same, and there's no fixing it. I guess my little experiment will continue indefinitely. Henry, still in disbelief, couldn't believe what he was hearing. Eleanor, what are you talking about? What do you mean, other men? What do you mean, your experiment? Ellen, sick of it all, just responded. Cut the Eleanor shit, Henry. My name is Ellen. That fucking name made me want to throw up, but I got used to it. But now it just disgusts me again. I do feel bad that your little girlfriend lost her legs. They were pretty, but I couldn't have her making noise and waltzing upstairs now, could I? As Ellen continued on a tangent, Henry tried to run and push her out the way to make his way upstairs. He tripped on the first stair, hitting his head. It dazed him for a moment. He gathered himself and tried to make his way up the stairs when he felt a cut on the back of his heel. Ellen cut his Achilles, causing Henry to scream out in pain. Then she cut the other Achilles. Unable to walk, Henry just laid on the stairs and tried to crawl up, to which Ellen walked over him and started stomping his face, causing him to fall back down the stairs. Ellen dragged Henry back over to the room where Sarah was still sitting blind, folded. She is too scared to scream and was breathing heavily as if she was hyperventilating. Now Henry is sitting on the wall with both Achilles cut, and Sarah is sitting on the chair with no legs. "What a perfect couple," Ellen said mockingly. "If you had the courage to talk to a woman in the first place, you wouldn't have ordered me, and this wouldn't have happened. It's all you fault, little Henry. To be honest, I thought of you as asexual, considering you haven't fucked me in this entire year. Was fucking an android too much for you to bear? Or was your little pocket pussy in the bathroom all the women you needed? You hear that, Sarah? Even if you dated, he probably wouldn't have touched you anyway. Hey, are you fucking listening?" Ellen said as she smacked Sarah with the flat part of the knife, still causing her cheek to be cut. "This is why I fucking hate people," Ellen said with a sigh. Henry, finally coming to, told Ellen she won't get away with this, to which Ellen replied that this isn't her first time, and it won't be the last. She has some people coming that's going to clean all of this up, and they should be there in about 2 hours, which gave her plenty of time to teach the two about being faithful in a relationship. What time was it? 3 a.m., maybe 4. A van pulled up in the driveway, and 2 large men knocked on the door. They were greeted by a Ellen covered in blood and a smile one thought you could only see from the Joker in a comic book, that wide grin that Ellen had. She invited the 2 in and made them a cup of coffee for their travel. The 3 sat at the table and conversed for a moment on how their day has been going. The 2 men apologized to Ellen, saying it's been a busy week, a lot of killings, and a couple of people are on vacation. Spending time with the family is important. Ellen said she understood. It's just too bad that they couldn't get here before Henry found out about her hiding Sarah. "Trouble in paradise, huh?" the men said, as they all shared a laugh. Ellen told one of the men that he was lucky to have such a beautiful wife. "Don't go and cheat. You never know what a woman can do when pushed to the edge." The man chuckled, saying, after helping Ellen out a couple times, cheating will never cross his mind. He would hate to see if his wife is capable of similar things. Enough chit-chat. The 3 went down into the basement. Ellen opened the door to the room, and besides the 2 mutilated bodies, the room was immaculately cleaned. The men were in awe, telling Ellen it doesn't look like there was a fight and 2 people tortured in this room. You'd think they were just Halloween decorations or something. Ellen thanked him for his kind words, saying that she had finished early. They just weren't up for a long night and checked out early. It gave her time to clean up. After all, this wasn't her first rodeo. She decided to make it easy for them. "I guess I'm making it home for breakfast," one of the men said, as he went in to pick up Henry's body. The men brought what looked like wall insulation to wrap the 2 up in, and carried them out to their van. "Anything else you need, Ellen, while we are here?" She said no, thanking them for their hard work and coming out at such a late time. "Anything for you, Ellen. Think nothing of it. She said her ride will be there soon." and they better get going. The men waved goodbye to Ellen as she walked back in the house to gather a couple items. Another car pulled into the driveway. Ellen walked out the house clothed with a suitcase in hand and threw it into the back of the car. "We have had a lot of guests this early in the morning," she joked as she got in the passenger side. She was picked up by her accomplice brother. He asked her if she took care of everything neatly, to which Ellen replied, "Of course. She's still fairly new to this life, so she isn't cutting any corners when it comes to erasing her steps." "Good," he replied. The two were riding in silence, Ellen excitedly looking out the window and her brother with a sullen look on his face. "Ellen." "What is it, Dick?" she replied. "Can't you just call me Richard like everyone else?" he said with a sigh. "I've been calling you Dick my whole life, and now you want me to suddenly change. To this day, I hate whoever it was that told you Dick was a nickname for Richard. But whatever, don't you think it's time to stop this? Men don't want a robot as a girlfriend. You've proved this multiple times now. But if you keep going, maybe you will miss out on a chance at a little bit of a normal life." "Richard, a normal life for me has already long passed. I know you helped me because of how much you care, and you didn't want me going on this path alone. But I'm already here. Only thing I can do is keep going until my demise. A normal life into a normal death isn't possible for me. God may forgive me, but karma usually doesn't," Eleanor said, with an innocent smile across her face. "What you give to the world, it gives just as much back, if not more." It was a silent car ride, after that back to Richard's private jet. Ellen went and took a shower, while Richard looked over new candidates to get a Ellen doll. This is how they vet out who Ellen goes to. They have potential customers write why they want the Ellen doll and how it would add value to their life. After all, Ellen is his sister. He's not going to send her to some degenerate that's only looking for sex. While looking through, he sees an interesting message to the creator. Ellen walks out the shower and looks over at Richard's computer. He shows her a message he received on a potential buyer. Ellen scoffs at the notion and walks away, not wanting to even discuss it. Richard really likes it and messages the individual back. Ellen yells, "I'm not doing it," from across the plane.